Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you how to create cascading drop-down list in MVC using repository pattern with partial view and link to SQL. And here we got the final output with 3 drop-down lists: country, states and city. I am selecting the country USA, select states Texas and select city Austin. If I select India, select state of the country India is Telangana. The Telangana capital is Hyderabad. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. For this video tutorial, I am creating a new MVC application. Go to File, New Project. I'm selecting ASP.NET Web Application and the .NET Framework. I'm using 4.6.1. The application name is Cascading Repository Pattern Dropdown List. Click OK. And from the templates, I'm selecting MVC4. Click OK. And here the project is created successfully. Let me close this window. Open Solution Explorer. Now in this project, in the models folder, I am adding link to SQL. Right click the models, add, click class. I am selecting link to SQL classes. The name I am giving Cascading Dropdown List, add. Now after adding the link to SQL in the models folder, the next step I am adding my database in the Server Explorer. Open Server Explorer, right click the data connections, add connection, the server name. After adding the server name, I am selecting the database name. SampleDB is my user database. I have selected test connection. It succeeded. OK. And here the sampledb.dbo is added under data connections. Expand the sampledb.dbo. Here we got the database objects. I'm expanding the tables. For this demo purpose, I am adding 3 tables. One is the country, second table is the state, and the third one is the city. Let's add those ones. Here is the country table. Just drag and drop. The first table is added. Open Server Explorer again. Expand the database. Tables. State table. Drag and drop. And the last table object is the city. Open Server Explorer. City. Now my aim is I am creating a cascading drop-down list. When a user selects a particular country name, I want to display the states of that country, and if select the states, I want to display the city name of the state. After adding the table objects in the link to SQL, open Solution Explorer again. I am minimizing the references folder. Again in the models folder, I am creating a class. Right click the models, add, class. The class name I am giving Cascading Prop. And in this class I am creating the public properties. Public int. The first property I am adding the CRD column, the column name of the CRD, which is the primary key. CRD get set. Public int SID, which is a state ID, get and set. And the last one, public int city ID, get set. After adding the public properties in the cascading prop class, now let's create the new folder repository. Open Solution Explorer. In the project name, right click that one, add new folder. The folder name is repository. So when we want to implement the repository pattern, the first thing we need to create the interface. So I'm creating an interface in this repository folder. Right click that one, add interface. The interface name is Cascading Dropdownlist. Click OK. Now in this interface, the first thing I'm adding the model here. Project name is, my application name is a cascading models. Now in the interface, I am defining the methods only. list, the first table name is the country, get all countries. list, second table name is a state, get all states, and the last one list, city, get all cities. After adding the methods in the interface, now let's create another class in the repository folder. Right click the repository, class. The class name is repository cascading dropdownlist. Add. Now in this repository CDI class, I'm adding the namespace using cascading my project name .models. After that, I'm implementing the interface colon. The interface name is ICDDL, which is the interface. And notice there is a small red line below the interface, which means we have to implement the method names in this class. So the easiest way to implement those methods, implement interface. And here we got the methods from this interface. Now before writing the coding part, let's create a controller. Open Solution Explorer. I'm creating a controller in the controllers folder. Right click the controllers folder, add controller. I'm selecting MVC for controller empty, add. The controller name is CSC, which is a country, state and city. Add. And here we got our newly created controller CSC. Now I'm adding the namespaces using my project name is the cascading .models, as well as I'm adding the repository folder also using cascading the application name .repository folder. Now above the action result index, I'm adding my interface here, private. The interface name is ICSCDDL. I'm creating an object, ICSC object. After that, I'm creating a constructor of this class CSC controller, public CSC controller. This dot ICS object is equals to new. I'm adding the repository CDL class, new. I'm adding my cascading data context here, cascading DDL context. And notice we got an error under repository CDL class. To fix this, click this one, generate constructor in the repository CDL class. Click that one. See, the error has gone. Switch to the repository CDL class and notice here the constructor is created, and as well as cascading DDL context, the link SQL data context is added. Now let's implement. The first thing, I'm binding the country names in the drop down list. In the get all countries method, I'm deleting this one. I'm creating a variable country list is equals to from country in. I'm adding the data context cascading DDL context dot the countries, which is a table name, select. I'm adding this country. Variable country names is equals to, I'm adding this variable country list dot to list. I'm adding the country table. Return country names. That's it, we have written the coding part in this get all country names. Switch to the controller. Now in this controller, I'm creating a new method with a list class. Public list. The table name is a country. Get country details is a method name. The country table country. Now in this method list country, I'm creating an object country names is equals to, I'm adding the object of the interface. I see object dot, the method name is get all countries dot to list method. Return country names. Notice here I have added the get all countries. In this get all countries and in the get all countries method, I have written the code to fetch the country names from this countries table. Now in the action result, view bag, I'm using view bag to passing the variables from the controller to the view page. View bag dot country names is equals to new select list. I'm adding get country details, comma. The second parameter is the object selected value, and here the object is in the country tables the column name CID and CNAME. I'm adding CID, comma, between double quotes, CNAME. That's it, the coding part we have written in the controller to display the country details. Now the leftover, we need to create the index view page, but before creating the view page we must build this project, build solution, and here the project build succeeded. Let me close this output message box, highlight the index, right click that one, add view. The view name is the index only, and the template I'm selecting empty. The model class, I'm selecting the model class, the cascading prop, this one, select that one, and make sure in the options reference script libraries and user layout page both are checked, then click add. And here we got the index view page. The first thing, I'm removing this header h2 h1 how to implement cascading drop-down list using repository pattern h2 with a link to SQL, partial views, and Ajax. Horizontal line at if the viewback country names, copy this one, paste here, is not equals to null at html.dropdownlist for m dot, I'm adding the column name CID, and the second parameter I'm adding the viewback country names as select list, comma, select country, comma, new at class is equals to form control. That's it, we have passed the country names from controller to the index view page. Now before running the application, let's check the output. The country table is binded into the drop-down list or not. But one important thing is, before run this application, we need to change our controller name in the route.config file. Open Solution Explorer, app_start, expand that one, route.config.cs, open that one. Notice here the controller name is a home, which I am deleting the default one. Our controller name is a CSC. I'm adding that one, and the action view page is the index only, which is this one, index. Now let's check the results. The first drop down list is binded with the country names or not. Google Chrome, and here we got the output of that code. Notice the first drop down list control, the select country. Notice the country names India, US and Australia. In my country table I have only 3 country names, India, US and Australia. Let's check in my SQL Server database table also. See here the country table contains 2 columns, CID and CNAME, and the CNAME, the values are India, US and Australia. Now my next aim is, when I select any of the particular country name, for example India, I want to display the states of the India in drop-down list 2. Let's switch back to the coding part. I'm stop debugging. Now let's bind the state names in the drop-down list 2. Switch to the interface. Notice here the get all states method. Here I am adding integer CID. Country, I'm selecting the state names based on the country CID column. Now switch to the repository, the implementation part. Notice here get all states, the method name. Here I am adding the integer CID. I am deleting this default code. Variable state list is equals to from state in. I am adding this cascading DDL data context dot, the table name is the states, where state, this variable here, dot CID is equals to CID, this object. Select state, variable state names is equals to state list dot to list. I'm adding state table. return state name. That's it, we have implemented to fetch the state names of this selected country name. Switch to the controller. I'm adding a new action result for the states. Public action result get states here. I'm adding integer CID. I'm adding a list class with the state table I'm implementing, creating an object. State names is equals to ICSC object, which is the interface object, this one, dot, the method name is a get all states. I'm adding this object CID dot toList method. Viewback dot state details is equals to new select list state name, this object, comma, and the objects here SID, state ID, the column name, and the state name. Return, and the return I'm adding a partial view between double quotes, partial state, which is a partial view name. So let's create the partial view. Copy this partial state, open Solution Explorer. To create the partial view, in the project we have a shared folder. Right click that one, add view, select the partial view, the view name, the partial state which you have given, the partial state, and the template empty. The model class I'm adding cascading prop, this one, add, and here we got the partial view for to display the state names. I'm adding HTML elements option, value is equals to select states state at if the viewback.state details, I'm copying this one, is not equals to null, which means I have selected the country names for each variable item in viewback.state details, and here I'm adding the option value. Option value is equals to at item dot value at item dot text. That's it, we have done the coding part to fetch the state names of this selected country ID. Now switch to the index.cshtml. After if condition, what I'm doing, I'm just copying this part and pasting here. This one m dot sid new select list select states is a method. Now we have added the second drop down list also to display the state names when we select the country names from the drop down list 1. But to implement proper way the functionality, for that I'm using Ajax. So at the bottom, open Solution Explorer. Notice the scripts folder here, expand that one. In the scripts folder, notice the jQuery 1.10.2 min.js. Just drag and drop here. Now we can implement the jQuery functionality in this index view page. Script $document dot ready function dollar between double quotes. I'm adding the jQuery element, which is a CID. You need to prefix with hash CID. CID dot change function I'm declaring a variable country ID is equals to dollar this dot val method debugger dollar dot ajax content type, which is HTML, comma type colon post, comma URL / I'm adding my controller name, which is a CSC / I'm adding the action result name, which is switch to the controller. I'm getting the state names from the getStates method. Copy this one, paste here, question mark with CID is equals to plus country ID, this variable, comma success colon function response debugger dollar between double quotes hash SID state ID dot empty method semicolon dollar between double quotes hash SID dot append, and the parameter takes the jQuery content, which is a response. That's it. We have done the coding part to display the state names in the drop down list from the selected country name from the drop down list 1. Let's check the results. Google Chrome, and here we got the output after adding the second drop down list to display the states. I'm selecting the country India, select states. See, we got the state names of the India. If I select Australia, so Queensland, Victoria and Western Australia. If I select USA, California, Texas and New Jersey. Now the last one, I want to display the city name in the drop down list 3 when we select the state name in the drop down list 2. Let's finish the rest of the code. Switch to the coding part and stop debugging. Go to interface. Now in the getAllCities method, I am adding the int SID. So with the help of state ID, I want to display the city names. Switch to the repository. Notice getAllCities method to display the city names. So here I am adding integer SID. I am deleting this default coding part. instead of writing again the same code, I'm just copying this one and paste here. So city list from city, the table name is cities, where city dot sid is equals to sid, this variable here, from city, this object here, the variable city list. Copy this one and paste here. I am adding the city table, the variable name is the city name. Copy this one, the return type, the return is the city name. That's it, we have done the coding part to fetch the city name with the help of state ID. Now in the controller, let's create a new action result for get city, public action result get city integer sid. I'm just copying this part, list, I'm adding my city table name, city name is an object, the interface object dot get all cities, the method name, I'm adding sid to list, view bag city details, I'm adding the city name here, the column names from the city table, city ID and city name, city ID and city name. Return partial view, and the return is a partial view, so I'm creating a new partial view which is a partial city. The partial view name is, copy this partial city, open Solution Explorer. To create the partial view in the shared folder, right click the shared folder, add view, the view name which is a partial name, partial city, this one, the template empty, the model class same as it is, we are choosing cascading property text, click add, and here we got the partial view to display the city names. So instead of writing the coding again, I'm just copying the coding part from the state and pasting here. Select city, view bag is a view bag city details, copy this one, paste here, variable item in view bag dot city details, and this one is the same, item dot value and item dot text. That's it, we have done the coding part. Now switch to the index.cshtml. Let's create the let's create the last drop down list for the city. Copy this one, paste here, m dot city ID, and this one select city. Now we have to fill the data with the city name in the drop down list when we select the state name in the drop down list. For that I am using the Ajax. Just copy this one, up to here. Hash SID this variable. Copy this one, paste here, state ID, state ID, comma. In the URL, I'm deleting the get states, I'm adding get city, question mark, SID, and here I'm adding the city ID. That's it. We have done the complete coding part to display the cascading drop-down list, country, state and cities using repository pattern with partial view, link SQL and the Ajax. Let's check the final output. Google Chrome. And here we got the final output with 3 drop-down list, country, states and city. I'm selecting the country USA, select states Texas and select city Austin. If I select India, select state of the country India is Telangana. The Telangana capital is Hyderabad. That's it.